I have some medical trauma, and I think you don't really know until it like shows up again. So here we are sitting in this vet office, and basically what happened was when my dog got bit by a spider, and on February 7th, I think, and it is February 27th. So we have been dealing with this for 20 days, and the last 10, I was in the vet twice a day for hyperbaric oxygen treatments and getting his wound rechecked. So think about being hypervigilant about your animal and worried about them, and then having to go to the vet and having to hear good news or bad news, or we're concerned about this, or we need a new antibiotic, or we need to do a blood test, and oh, the other blood test isn't back yet. So you get all these, like every day is like a roller coaster. And then I'm constantly checking the wound, like, is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Uh-oh, what is that little streak? And here's some new red dots. What does this mean? And then the doctor messages you and texts you to say, can it send us a picture for what it looks like today? So it's just been a lot. And my last service dog, who basically is the one that helped me get off the meds, and completely changed my life, and I got back to school because of him, and I was able to like function, and I didn't have like severe agoraphobia and monophobia because he was always with me. Like, he controlled part of my nervous system. His death, I have still not told anyone the whole story, and I probably won't, because it's just that traumatic and I don't need to rehash it. But it was basically, long story short, 2 months of hospice care that I was in charge of while he was the end of his life. So that is still in there. Do you know what I'm saying? And that was only 3.5 years ago. So just dealing with something that I'm so bonded to and being worried about them increases my hypervigilance and panic. And I don't even like to use those words. It's scary shit, And people don't talk about, like, when your animal dies, like how hard that can be for some of us, because that's the closest thing we have. So, long story short, again, I shouldn't say that word, but anyway, the vet came in here to tell me stuff, and I asked her, can you please tell me about the cancer word, because you guys have brought that up twice, and I need to know what that means. Like, you don't just use that word and don't tell people something, So what exactly did you mean by that? And then she said, well, sometimes there can be lumps, and they get infected, or like they get a scratch, but we are pretty confident that it is a bite wound from some kind of spider, or it could be a cactus that poked him, and then he got bacteria from the ground, because they found like 2 kinds of bacteria on his sample that could be that were from the ground, like ground bacteria. Because I was like, how does the bacteria get in there? Or how does cancer respond to antibiotics? That doesn't make sense to me, But anyway, as she's talking, she just walked in here, and I'm just like, my brain just like panics, because I'm like, what is she going to tell me? Because I've heard all bad news, and I'm like scared, and like, you didn't tell this part. Anyway, and then I kind of panicked for a second, and I was like, can we just go outside? Can you like walk with me? And she looked at me like, are you crazy? No, we're sitting in this room. And I was like, okay, well, if you don't mind me working through some anxiety while you talk to me, because I have a lot of trauma about this kind of stuff. Like, if you don't mind that, I can sit. So I just sat here and breathed. And people are just not trauma informed. Like, they're just not. And you'd be surprised. Like, why not a vet? Of all people, you should be extremely compassionate and empathetic. But she talked a mile a minute, and I'm just sitting here trying to breathe. And I'm like, it's okay. You don't have to leave the room. That's avoidance. Like, let's just be here. You need to be here for your dog. It's okay. So anyway, they said they're very hopeful. They don't think it's cancer. She even had the surgeon look at the wound, but it's definitely, just in case the wound does not heal all the way, I would need to come back and get another biopsy of whatever's left. There's a small chance of that. And I said, okay. And she goes, but the fact that it like swelled up so quickly, and like you didn't notice it before, and it was just there one day, I was like, yeah. And it's kind of coincidental with when we were in the desert. Anyway, so I'm grateful for the trigger, but not grateful for the trauma that's in there lingering. But they said they're going to bandage him up and like get him ready to go. And I said, okay, just go do that. And I said, can I just sit in here? Because I don't want to leave. I need to just process some stuff and just, make my body feel safe in this situation and that everything's going to be okay, and just calm it back down. Because one principle of neuroplasticity and anxiety recovery and all the things is you don't run out like in a panic. So I'm like, I'm cool. I'm just going to sit here and just chill. And she's like, okay, if I need the broom, I'll kick you out and I'll come get you. The nurse said that. So anyway, I'm just saying that. Just hug your animals and your people. And just know that most medical people are not very trauma informed. And every once in a while you can find a good one and you just say, hey, look, including dentists, like, I just need to cry for a minute. Can you just let me cry? Can you just let me process this? Can you just go slower? Can you talk me through it? Can you tell me things before you do them? Can you just be gentle with me? Can you just be really nice to me? Like, I've used all those things. Also, I read the reviews and make sure it says like they are compassionate and kind. I've even called the office of like an eye doctor and said, I need to make sure this person's really kind. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So sometimes you have to pay extra to be treated with the minimal amount of respect, but I will gladly pay to not be re-traumatized and to work through my stuff. Okay. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much. See you later.